Hi felters and welcome. These are my Highland Cow Baubles that I'm going to show you how to make in this video. They're really easy to make, really simple. The last video I did was on some sheep baubles and I'm going to do another one on some little pony baubles as well. So I thought I would show you how to do this because if you haven't seen my Highland cows and how I do the fur on the top, I thought it would be easier if I did do a full tutorial. So if you take some core wool and just roll it up, I sort of scrunch it all up and push it all into the bottom and then start needle felting it, and it doesn't have to be really solid, it just has to be fairly firm. And on the inside here you can use whatever wool you want. If you've got some old wool that you don't like, just use that, but this is a little bit of core wool that I had, and I'm just using a tri needle just to speed things up a bit. So just work it all round, and then I like to put, this is a carded wool that's in a similar colour to the top coat so that you don't get any of the white bits showing through. So again, it doesn't have to be an exact match, but similar to the top coat colour that you're going to do. There we go. Didn't take me too long. These are the little legs. So take a little bit of your wool and roll it up. It doesn't matter how big the legs are so long as they're all equal. So whatever the amount you take the same for each leg. And then just needle felt it round off one of the ends, and the other end I always leave fluffy. If you've ever seen my videos before, I always leave a fluffy bit to help with attaching it to any main parts of the body. So just round off one end and felt it for a bit. Again, fairly firm, but it doesn't have to be really solid. They're not meant to be standing on their legs all day, but they can. And there we go. Give a little roll between the hands and it's all ready. So there's the other three, all done. Next, I started the head slightly early, so I do apologise. Just make the head almost double the size of the legs, I think, would be about right. And then yet you do need to firm this up quite well because we're going to be doing a little pink nose. So I'm sure you've probably heard me say this before, but the head I like it to be in sort of a cone shape without the end bit of the cone, sort of the cone bit cut off a little bit, and then it's wider where the eyes are. I needed a little bit more of a pointy nose, so I just added a bit extra there. Because this wool's carded, it's so easy to add extra bits, and it doesn't leave great big marks. I do a video on wools, so if you're confused with wools, have a look. There we go, so just work it in a bit. The needle I mostly use at the moment with this carded is a 36, which is a really good 36 triangular gauge. So this is a tiny bit of pink. If you don't have pink, just use a light cream or even a white if you have to. And it's in a circle shape, and then just needle felt the edge on, make sure it's straight, and then needle felt it a little bit flatter. Take two tiny darker colours, and these are going to be the nostrils. Roll them up into a tiny little ball and just needle felt them in. Be fairly gentle so that they don't disappear back into the nose too much. And there we go, so that's the nose bit. This is the ears. So I took a bit of the carded, folded it in half, and that's given me the edge end bit, and then just keep turning it over so it doesn't get stuck to the mat, and turn it into sort of a circular shape. And again, you've got the fluffy bit that you're holding on to that we're going to attach it with, and then fold them in half. I felt them in half so they're all ready, and then we can attach them to the back of the head. Have a play around with where you want them. If it's the wrong position, you can just pull them off and start again. There we go, there's the second one, and the fluffy bits you can just felt in or leave down the bottom a bit so that they can help when you attach the head to the body. See, I'm still holding on to them just there. They're just sticking downwards a bit. There we go. So we're going to attach the legs, and I'm sort of having them pointing outwards slightly. They're not a major feature, you're not going to see them that much, you'll just see the ends of them, but you do want them to be nice and firm. So all round the base, make sure that they stay on. If they're pointing the wrong way, just pull it the way you want it to go and then felt it, and it should stay that way. So I've done the 4 legs there quickly, you didn't have to watch me do all of it. And now just attaching the head. And I didn't have enough for me to feel happy that the head was secure. So just take a little bit extra wool and put it across the patch where it joins, and that will strengthen the join really, really well. I can't quite do normally I do a little scarf around heads, but I can't do this on this one. There we go. So horns. I'm going to do horns with little pipe cleaners because the wool will stick really well to the pipe cleaners and makes it easy. So it's up to you, but I start at one end and work all the way across, adding wool as you go, and you just roll and turn, twist and turn, and it shouldn't be too hard, and then give it a roll between your hands as well. Just try and keep it fairly even. The middle bit doesn't show because you're going to have the hair or the coat over the top of it, so it's the ends that are important. And my pipe cleaner wasn't the right colour, so I really had to be very careful, but if you get a white pipe cleaner it's a lot easier. And then we just attach it to the top with a bit of the carded wool, all in the same colour, and do either side of the horns, and then you can even do a little bit of it through the edge of the horns, and it really secures them really well. And then I had lots of extra at the back there, so just needle felt it in because it's not going to show. This is the ribbon. Take any ribbon or string. Ribbon I use because it's easier to sew on. String, I guess you could do a knot and then sew it. So I sew through the end, I fold the end over so I've got sort of a little stronger patch, and then I use that. And I'm finding you have to go sort of slightly forwards a bit because they've got heavier heads than bottoms. And just once you've done a few, just test it. I keep testing it when I'm holding it up in the air there. So yeah, it's hanging very well. And then I go through the body several times as well. It just sort of firms it up nicely. And none of this is going to show because you're going to put the coat over it. There we go, that's quite easy. Because of the pipe cleaners, the horns are very movable. You can have them however you want. So we're going to start with the coat, and this is a roving or tops type wool. I have to do a lower layer on him. He's too big for me just to do the top. The roving or tops wouldn't be long enough, so I've done a lower layer, fold it down, and then needle felt it in a bit, and then this we're going to tuck between and under his legs. So you have to split it a bit and then work it around the little legs because they are nice to see them sticking out. There we go. And then I just secure it all underneath, under his tummy, and then work your way all the way around the back. And then going to get under his neck as well. If when you finish there's any gaps, you can literally just pull the top coat up a bit and fill them in because you don't want to have any gaps. Those 3 are actually sold. They're already gone. The one at the end, he had a few gaps because the roving kept coming out quite short, so I had to fill in a few gaps with him. So these are really popular presents, or if you're doing any fairs or crafts or anything like that and you're selling your stuff, they're really good. They're sort of Christmassy because they're baubles, but then they could still be used all year round. So here we go for the top, and the cows, they've got a little top line, so we try and keep that top line there. When you get to the ribbon bit, just work around it, and then because you can't needle felt all the way through the bit that you've sewn with the ribbon, but it works quite well just to the side of it. And then at the bottom end, I will do one facing backwards first, because otherwise it doesn't look quite right if you carry the top line all the way down. So I face that one backwards and then do one across the top. And see, they're so simple and easy, but yet they're really, really cute. And then these bits here, just sort of poke them in and around the legs and very gently secure them in at the bottom. It just makes him it makes him all round all the way then. You could leave them hanging long if you want to, but I like to see his legs. And we'll just do the forelock, or the, I don't know what you'd call it on a cow. So I just take one bit of the roving, I put it behind the horns, and then needle felt it in, and then you're just going to fold it forwards. And that's it, and then split it either side of the nose and face and tuck it in and under. And there we go. And check that he's hanging right. There he is, all done. So really quick and easy. Like I said, you can do any colour, and any colour seems to be popular. It doesn't seem to matter. They look like Highland cows. So I've done quite a lot of the greys Highland cows lately, and they sell really well. So here he is, you can pick him up. That's his bottom, looks all good. And then pick him up, and he hangs fairly well. See there, he's still tipping slightly forwards, but he's not too bad. And there he is. So I hope you liked it. Like I said, one of my other videos, I've done some sheep baubles. They're here. Here's the cows, and there's the sheep beside them. They're a little bit smaller. And I'm going to do one more on some ponies. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, like and comment, and happy felting.